Thank you very much, Hugh. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Craven Cottage in the heart of West London. It is the day that the leadership changes hands. The baton passes from one to another. Whether it's the unveiling of a new dawn or not will remain to be seen. But something's changing. Gone are the days of long, stable rulers. Now it chops and changes quite a lot. Sometimes you get quite a bit of time at the top. Occasionally it feels like you were only there for a blur. And after biding their time, Manchester United were in charge for a week. Leicester City were only top for 22 hours. Manchester City can trump that. United will replace them again after only 2.5 hours, should they win here tonight. And Manchester United haven't lost away from home in the Premier League since the 19th of January 2020, 366 days ago. The primaries are over. The second half of this thrilling race for supremacy is just about to start, and it starts with Fulham against Manchester United live on TalkSport. And I'm hoping that that's the end of the god-awful noise in the background. Troy Deeney is alongside me, the Watford captain. If Manchester United want to be considered as title contenders, they come here, they do a job, they get out again.
100%. These are the ones that show what you're really about and show your intentions. Midweek, under the lights, weather's not the best. It stopped raining now, so that might help, but you want to really show what you're about. With this one stand being down, there's a lot of wind in here as well, and you expect United to really show their quality.
Let's run through the two teams, starting off with Fulham, who wear white shirts with heavy black trim, black shorts. They've got Areola in goal, who started the last 16 Premier League matches. Ola Aina, Joachim Andersen and Tosin are the back three. Kenny Tete and Joe Bryan are the wing backs, with Harrison Reed, the former Southampton midfielder, and Andre Frank Zambo Ngisa as the two combative midfielders in the heart of the engine room. A little bit further forward, Ruben Loftus-Cheek will try to link with Ademola Lookman, who will sprint down that left wing and provide crosses into the box, hopefully for Ivan Caballero, who scored a cracking header against Tottenham Hotspur for Scott Parker's team not too long ago. Manchester United have made 3 changes from the weekend. David De Gea is their goalkeeper. Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw the back four. Fred and Pogba hold, with Bruno Fernandes in the 10. Greenwood and Martial flank Cavani in attack. Fernandes, Maguire and Shaw walking a bit of a tightrope. All 3 will be suspended if they are booked tonight. Martin Atkinson is the referee. He's just going through the numbers and making sure that the full complement are available to him. Manchester United will kick off shooting from right to left, and Fulham from left to right. Before we start, all 22 players on the field take the knee in a show of support for the fight against racism and social injustice. And then we're off and underway with Fulham in those white shirts attacking the goal away to our right-hand side. The Hammersmith end, which is clad with big white canvases and the Premier League logo on top and bottom. And we are underway, and Troy Deeney is alongside me. And after a competitive showing against Chelsea and a series of draws, how does Scott Parker's team trouble the best away team in the land?
Just like that, you see the way that Harry Maguire's tried to clear that there, and the wind's brought it back 15 yards, so they have to use all the elements, make it uncomfortable and build on what they've been doing. They were going to get chances. The way they've been playing, they've got Lookman, Loftus-Cheek, people that can really create things out of nothing, and hopefully they can just score and make these chances count. But it's a real good start.
People across the country will know just how bad the wind and the rain has been in all parts of the land, and certainly it is quite blustery here tonight. The rain is swirling around, and that will cause issues, especially with the openness on the far side, where the Riverside stand is being rebuilt, which means it's incredibly open in all of the corners, and the wind can sneak in where the gaps in the the part where the new seating will be very shortly, is unfinished. Manchester United have the ball in the left fullback position with Luke Shaw. He tries to clear it, and again it sort of gets whipped by the wind and sent back goalwards towards the right. Caballero wins it for Fulham, tries to move to the edge of the area. It's away by Bailly and picked up by Pogba midway inside his own half, and then sent back to Shaw on the edge of the penalty area. Harry Maguire, unfussed by the presence of Ruben Loftus-Cheek, sends it square to Bailly and then out towards the far side. Now collected by Wan-Bissaka, who motors up towards the halfway line, loses the ball very quickly. It's on to Lookman. Lookman now trying to strike from distance, and is straight down the throat of the goalkeeper and into the arms of David De Gea. 0-0. Decent effort, that.
It's a good start, isn't it? It's a real good start from Fulham. They're kind of waiting for Man United to go into the full-back areas and then pressing quite aggressively. But I think also as well that they're waiting, and I like that Lookman got that shot off early there. See what the wind's like about just in front of De Gea.
Now at the moment it's Ademola Lookman who's playing centrally and Caballero who's playing out on the left-hand side. We'll see how that develops. The ball is with Wan-Bissaka over the halfway line, back into Pogba. Blonde streak down the middle of his hair. He sends it into the path of Greenwood and then all the way back to Eric Bailly, and then Harry Maguire, who looks as if he's had a haircut, takes the ball up towards the halfway line. Ball is played down the right hand side. It's flicked on down the touchline, looking for the run of Greenwood. It's cut out. Bruno Fernandes couldn't keep control. Joe Bryant gets it away over on the far side, and it's cleared up towards the 18-yard box that Manchester United are defending. Fulham's defeat to Chelsea on Saturday was their first in 6 Premier League games, although the previous 5 had all been drawn. They haven't won any of their last 7. It's a record that needs to improve if they are to stay in the Premier League. Here is Martial shutting down an attempted clearance by Ola Aina, picked up by Cavani. Central is Fernandes, who flicks it with his right foot out towards Wan-Bissaka. Manchester United approach the Fulham penalty area at pace. A decent cross into the centre over the head of Martial. Didn't run through to Cavani. This one might from Pogba, and up and under into the box. He hits it first time, and it goes backwards rather than forwards. Not the greatest of efforts from Edinson Cavani.
No, I think he's shinned that one there, but it's a difficult one to take, obviously, with Pogba just helping it back in, and as we spoke about, the wind is really blowing, and it's right against United at this moment in time, so it's a tough one. But Fulham has started well. Man United look really confident, and it could be a good game.
Here is Zambo Anguissa playing the ball into Ruben Loftus-Cheek. It goes back to the halfway line. What do you do in windy conditions, Troy? Do you adapt your game? Do you change the way you play? Because Manchester United have decided to face the wind in the first half, haven't they? Because they turned Fulham round after winning the toss.
No, I think United are trying to build into it, and I think also if you look at it from United's perspective, I'll stop, they're getting forward.
Here is Ruben Loftus-Cheek into Anguissa, who motors towards the edge of the area. He needs support. Tete's got it, right angle of the penalty area. United get back into shape and plug all the gaps, so there's nowhere really for Fulham to go, and they go back to the halfway line.
Yeah, I think that's a clear showing there of why Fulham need a striker. They got to the edge of the box there, and no one made any runs even to try to break the line, just to occupy United in behind. And if you can see, look,
there's one. Lookman in behind now, receiving the ball into the penalty area, faced up by the goalkeeper, and slots it past David De Gea. And after 5 minutes of the game, Fulham are in front against Manchester United. It will be checked for offside by VAR, but it looked as if Ademola Lookman had timed his run to perfection. The ball over the top. He broke the line of the Manchester United defence. He went down at an angle towards David De Gea and slotted it home.
It's a great finish, and just what I was just about to say, they're not running in behind, but this is a great run from Lookman. But I'm interested to see if this is offside, because everybody stops. Oh, it looks like he's on to me. After replays, it looks like
very tight, isn't it?
Played him on, and it's a hell of a finish. But the desire to get back in from Pogba there is quite interesting. He's more or less just stopped, look, arm in the air, and now he's just a laboured run because he thinks he's going to be offside, but I think he might be on.
Well, Wan-Bissaka looked to be level with him, didn't he? He was sort of delayed at the far side of the pitch as Manchester United look at it, and it has been awarded.
It's a great finish.
That goal taken by Ademola Lookman is only his 3rd of the season, and Fulham are in front, and we thought we might see a flurry of early activity. United have conceded now 6 goals in their first 15 minutes of the season. They're behind again on the road, Troy.
Yeah, it's a real big hole in the Manchester United defence there, because obviously Pogba's trying to match the run, but Lookman, as you said earlier, is playing as a striker, so you'd expect one of the centre-halves to be taking the run, but no one did, and it's a great composure, great finish. But now this is perfect for Fulham. There's something to hold on to, and Man United have got to break them down, as we said, in very difficult conditions. But now this is a perfect situation for Fulham, where they want to be. They want to hold on, and United have got to be adventurous.
Here is Martial down the left-hand side, cut out by Anguissa, and they're on the front foot again. Here Fulham with Ruben Loftus-Cheek powering through after Lookman had sent him away to the right edge of the area. Harry Maguire comes across and stabs it clear. It's collected on the near side and tucked back by Kenny Tete to Olarena. And then here is Tosin at the heart of the Fulham defence. 7 minutes gone. You're listening to Talk Sport, and it's Fulham 1, Manchester United 0. Ademola Lookman has got the opening goal of the game.
They look comfortable though, Fulham. Lookman at the moment just gone past a couple there, draw the foul. They look very confident, as I said earlier on, but I just think that United might get overrun in this midfield. The front four are quite high, quite all in one line at times, and I think Fred and Pogba might have their work cut out, especially in transition.
We've just seen the replay of the VAR replay with the dotted lines on, and it's incredibly tight, but it is onside.
The armpit's onside.
The armpit is onside. It's the benefit of not having very big arms, I think, for Ademola Lookman, who has the ball again and plays it on to Caballero, trying to bound his way through the Manchester United defence. They come together in a tight knot on the edge of the D and relieve him of the ball, and now start to build. Manchester United haven't lost any of their last 12 games in the Premier League, which is the current longest unbeaten run in Europe's top 5 leagues. But there was still criticism after the Liverpool game that they didn't have a champion mentality to go and win the game, to finish off the game. They had the better of the chances towards the end of that match. They haven't started particularly well here. They've hardly got into Fulham's half. It's 1-0 to the home team, and here is Shaw on the left-hand side. Swings the ball to the edge of the area. It's cut out by the retreating Anderson, and then he sends it over the halfway line. The score is Fulham 1, Manchester United 0. On TalkSport with Now TV, and don't forget you can watch Liverpool versus Burnley live tomorrow with a Now TV Sky Sports Pass for just $9.99. Search Now TV. Here is Wan-Bissaka down the right, onto Greenwood, right angle of the area, back into Fred. Fred looking to turn and fire the ball out wide toward the other side of Luke Shaw. Shaw, who's tackled immediately by Kenny Tete. It's prodded back into Maguire and then back out wide to Fernandes. Then on to Shaw, who's gone on the underlap, and then he tries to get the cross in. It's blocked by Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and it bounces off the on-loan Chelsea man and out for a throw-in. Here's Troy Deeney.
It was interesting that just in that build-up there, I saw Solskjaer come off out to his technical area and move Fred and Pogba up. Gets some midfielders playing higher up the pitch, going into an area where the defenders were already in control and no one's there. Oh, could be a pen.
Oh, Fred's gone down inside the penalty area. Martin Atkinson was 5 yards back from him. He was unmoved. The play continues. And then there's a foul by Pogba from behind on Olarena, which is going to generate a yellow card for him. I wonder whether or not VAR will look back at that decision that Manchester United thought would generate them a penalty. What's your...
It looked like it originally. I'm going to look at that. Yeah, that's a pen for me. He's took him out. There's no need to do that. I think VAR should be looking at that, and that'd be a penalty to United.
Is that clear and obvious error by the referee?
Yeah, because he hasn't touched the ball at all, and it's from, to be fair to the referee, it's from his weak side. He can't see that, and obviously the linesman is from the other side as well, so it's a blind spot for both of them. But they've said no by the looks of it, and he's carrying on.
I don't think they're going to give the penalty. They haven't generated a yellow card, given a yellow card to Paul Pogba. And Edinson Cavani was asking the question of Martin Atkinson, and he was pretty clear. He saw it, he made the decision, no penalty, crack on.
And that's where the frustration comes in for people like ourselves and fans.
Here is the free kick for Fulham then, and wide on the right, Joe Bryan sends it in, swirling into the sky. The wind is howling around, and as David De Gea tries to clear it, very quickly comes back the way because the wind holds it up. It allows Fulham to pinch it, and they come forward with Zambo Anguissa. Out to the left, Lookman, who's just moved out towards that far side. He's right on the touchline, then loses his footing. Once the foul, referee says play on. Wan-Bissaka brings it clear, and then Pogba, under a bit of pressure from Harrison Reed, and then gets nobbled from behind by Zambo Anguissa, sends the ball in field. Here is Shaw up to the halfway line. Pogba looking a little bit troubled. gingerly getting back to his feet as Manchester United try to craft an attack with Greenwood with a long raking ball out to the right side, away by the retreating Joe Bryan, then back to Cavani, who turns it further wide to Wan-Bissaka. Now on to Fernandes, who's just moved out into the wing position. He's a bit frustrated because he's got crunch with the tackle as well. The referee is allowing a few things to go here. Here is Martial into Pogba on the cusp of the centre circle, fires it forward into Cavani, just not quite hitting the marks, Manchester United, in the early stages. 11 and a half minutes gone. It's Fulham who lead by a goal to nil.
Yellow card been shown there as well, I think, to Anguissa for that tackle on Pogba. That was about half a second too late. I think when you look at United again, they're getting into that nice area, but Fulham are really compact, all 11 men behind the ball, and as you see, they're not necessarily trying to play out in dangerous areas. They just want to get United on the counter-attack, so they more or less just gave him the ball back there.
Well, what Scott Parker has done, Troy, he's made Fulham harder to beat. They were ripped apart by Leeds, Villa and Arsenal earlier in the season. They've tightened things up at the back with basically a new defence. 3 at the back now with energetic wing-backs adding extra protection. You've got Anguissa in that midfield area alongside Harrison Reed. That's really important for them. Now, he may have his work cut out tonight because Manchester United at their very best can be rather dynamic, but they've started pretty well. They lead by a goal to nil.
But you see their trigger points of what they're going after. As soon as United have got it in these central areas, they're pushing up really high. Maybe 10 yards short at the halfway line, they're going after them. And now look, as soon as they come over the halfway line, all drop back in and they win the ball back again.
They've got it, and it was good work by Kenny Tete in the right wing-back position, and Loftus-Cheek, who's very adept at keeping the ball tight to his body and flicking it round corners. He's got a silky touch, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, keeping them in possession. Eventually it goes out off Martial and away for a throw-in on this near side. Fulham 1, Manchester United 0. You're listening to Talk Sport, and the FA Cup returns this weekend. Chorley against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Big FA Cup game on Friday night. It's live on Talk Sport. Saturday we start with Southampton against Arsenal. We've got Cheltenham against Manchester City. I'm sure they're looking forward to that at Wadham Road. And then on Sunday it's Manchester United against Liverpool. Mark Hughes part of the commentary team with Andy Townsend and Jim Brownfoot live from Old Trafford. Here is Fred moving into the Fulham half. He's midway inside it when he tries to release Fernandes. Can't control. Tete comes across and clears. Back from Maguire, who's about 10 steps inside the Fulham half. Shaw forward to Martial, trying to hold off the attentions of Reed and slip it down the right. Tete's done another good job getting in front of Fernandes, and then he will clear from the right fullback position up towards Ademola Lookman, who somehow
really well
rose, controlled it brilliantly, and then ran out towards this near side and kept Fulham in possession.
He's done really well there. I like how Fulham are just blocking the lanes as well. So they got 3 at the back, but as soon as United get in it, anywhere near the 20 yards out, the 2 wing backs are tucking right in and making sure Man United have to play around the outside of them, and Lookman's done great there going forward.
It looks a very different Fulham outfit from earlier in the season. Here is Pogba up to the right and Cavani away by Anderson, picked up in midfield by the flame-haired Harrison Reed, who was at Blackburn last season on loan, signed in August from Southampton. He guides it back to first of all Tosin, and then here is Ola Aina about 10 yards outside his own penalty area. Through the centre of the pitch the ball goes all the way through, and Caballero on his heels a little bit, didn't anticipate it coming his way.
Now Fulham do look comfortable, I don't know, so they're in that situation now where they've got the lead, but they're still pressing forward. United just need to move it a bit faster for me. Like here at this moment in time now, really wrap it across the back, move Fulham out of their slots, and Fernandes is going forward.
How many times this season have we seen Manchester United go behind in an away game and then come back late in the second half? It takes them sometimes a while to get warmed up, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that was a perfect example of it. Martial 20 yards out, trying to move in off the left hand side, lays the ball in behind for Shaw, who had stopped, and he's got out for a goal kick. And I just think Man, you need to up the tempo with the ball. There's still got to be chances. Fulham can't continue to contain like this and not allow any chances, but Man, you need to up it.
Reed trying to escape the attentions of Bruno Fernandes. Plays the ball backwards of square, and it's collected by Joe Bryan, and then on to Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa. I think it's probably my favourite name in the Premier League. I like to full name check him as often as I can.
Better you than me, mate.
Well, I think one of the reasons why Tosin has changed his name, or asked us to call him Tosin, is because his full name is he's got 6 separate names, I think.
Oh, well.
I don't think I was going to be able to full name check him every time he got hold of the ball.
That's good from Maguire, that.
Maguire exchanging passes with Fernandes. Down the left it goes to Martial, into the area, outside of the right foot. He tries to cross the ball into the centre. It's away by Anderson, who stepped in front of Cavani. It comes out to the near side, and it's picked up now by Martial. Fred gets it back. They're keeping Fulham hemmed in inside their own final third at the moment, but they've clogged up the passing lanes once again. Fulham. Here is Shaw into the area, a little flick from the defender, and it almost scooted through into a dangerous area, but no red shirt was there to latch onto it, and it goes behind and away for the first Manchester United corner of the game.
Good play again there. Fred's moving it fast. I like Harry Maguire coming in, stepping in and being on the front foot there. Really got this move going, and an opportunity for United. It might be this that kick-starts some good delivery from Shaw. And they've got some big boys attacking it with Maguire, Bailey and Pogba.
Well, one of the criticisms about the Liverpool performance is that Manchester United didn't make the most of their physicality. They looked a bigger team than Liverpool in that match, but didn't impose themselves at set pieces.
And you look now, Fulham have got a zonal marking situation going on here. I'd expect Cavani to get across the front of 16, and it's wasted by Manchester United, who looked to take it short, and then they befuddled themselves really, and eventually cleared away by Fulham on the byline. It was a pretty dreadful corner routine which didn't come off for Manchester United. It's Fulham 1, Manchester United 0. If you've just joined us on Talk Sport, we've only actually played 17 minutes. If you're thinking, why on earth at 20 past 8 on a Wednesday night, actually it's not 20 past 8, it's 34 minutes past 8, have you only played 17 minutes? Well, this game didn't kick off till 8:15 tonight because of the 6 o'clock kickoff between Manchester City and Aston Villa, a game which Manchester City won by 2-0. There was controversy in that. Elsewhere, there are games in the Championship, and Cardiff have just gone behind. QPR have scored 74 minutes into the game, only 16 minutes left. Chris Willock has put the visitors ahead in the Championship. The Willock brothers, heavily associated with Arsenal and Manchester United. Here is Shaw. 10. Do you think this one goes in a box?
5 yards in from the left touchline. I think is he 20 yards back from the edge of the area? He'll whip this in, won't he, surely in towards Maguire, who's just trotted up from the back.
You have to. I think this is where United have to really, as you say, put their dominance in. There's some big boys in there.
It is Shaw aiming towards the far post, and he's looking for Maguire and Pogba, but it's headed away by Anderson. Good header by him. Comes back down the right. Wan-Bissaka can cross from the byline. It's low and through the 18-yard box, but it missed. It was behind all the red shirts, and it was hooked wide and clear by Ruben Loftus-Cheek and out of play towards the far side. Back down the right it goes from the throw-in into Wan-Bissaka, then on to Fernandes. Wan-Bissaka again. Pogba is in attendance. He gets it now, edge of the area, a little back heel, but he was blind. He didn't look in his wing mirrors and see that behind him was Ademola Lookman, and it's been pinched and sent down the left-hand side, and Lookman is scurrying away down towards the corner flag. Bailly is up alongside him, trying to keep tabs on him. Lookman is bundled out of play over on the far side, and it's away for a Fulham throw.
I'd just like to see any of the United players, but in this instance it was Pogba, when he's in the box there, to be more aggressive and go at it, commit the Fulham defenders to do something. I think that's the second time now. Martial did it earlier on in the game, where they got into the penalty area and then kind of slowed down and made it easier for them.
That penalty area is the kill zone, isn't it? That's where you need to pull the trigger, flash something through the box, even if it takes a deflection and scoots in, that's going to be a bonus to you. It's not the area where you keep pushing the ball amongst yourselves, is it?
No, and also I just think in the current climate of how we're seeing things, any little touch in the box could potentially be a penalty, so why would you not commit, especially with the talent that they have?
Tete goes in late on Martial, but the ball runs down the left touchline, and Luke Shaw continues his run. Martin Atkinson says play on. Back centrally it goes to Fred. He's 20 yards from the edge of the box. It's on to Fernandes. Left-footed drive, hits the post and beats the goalkeeper, then comes back out into the 18-yard box and is cleared away by Fulham on the right edge of the area by Tete. Back through Martial into Fernandes, who's just hit the post. Back to him from Fred, in towards the near post, fumbled by the goalkeeper. Cavani is there to tuck it home, and he beats the man he used to play with in Paris. Edinson Cavani takes advantage of Alphonse Areola's failure to handle a cross from Bruno Fernandes, and seconds after they hit the post, they hit the back of the net. It's Fulham 1, Manchester United 1, and Cavani's on target.
the poachers there, as we spoke about earlier, but we have to give the referee credit. He's played a great play on there from Martial. Could have easily pulled it back. I think when goes into Fernandez there, gets on the half turn, hits it with a left-footed shot, but the reaction from Fred really set all that going. He wins the ball back, great ball in. Keeper's got to be massively disappointed in what he does there, but Cavani, as I spoke about at the start of the show, is a poacher, and that's what he's there for, and it's a great finish, and United can hopefully kick on from here.
Well, you were clapping your admiration at the Manchester United play there. The way they very quickly responded to what was a setback. It came off the post and then they went again, didn't they?
It was the way that Fred reacted. Because if you look, if we could get a still on that, if you look back at it, Martial stood here, complained that he got tackled. Fred's gone after the ball, made a slide tackle. The ball's gone up in the air. They've won it back, 1-2, and then Fernandez has delivered that ball in, and that all comes from reactions and wanting to take the game to a Fulham team who, as I said, can't continue to sit back the way they are and soak up pressure without giving up something to this Man United team.
Well, Manchester United have often found themselves a goal down away from home. Very quickly back into it, and here is Fernandez swivelling and hitting the ball towards the far stick. This time it is saved by Areola and pushed around the post and away for another United corner. But as soon as he got into that pocket of space on the back edge of the penalty area, right on the cusp of the D, he turned and very quickly unleashed a shot which was heading towards the far corner.
It's a great save. He keeps getting in that little pocket of space. He literally just gave Fulham the heads up by hitting the post 2 minutes ago, just before the goal. Literally the next action he's in the save place and no one's marking him again, but great save from the keeper.
Here is Shaw, who picks the ball up from the corner flag and sends it in towards the near post, looking for Fernandez, headed away by Anderson, who's very tall and lean and slender. He heads the ball away firmly, and Manchester United have to retreat to the halfway line. They never really worry about going behind because they've won 18 points from losing positions this season. It is the best in the league and 8 more than anyone else. I suppose, Troy, the main question is, it begs the question, why do they need to go behind to get themselves fired up?
Yeah, I don't think they started this game poorly. I just think it was finally a running behind which they've been looking for, and Fulham started really well, and the weather has obviously played a part in that as well. You okay, mate?
Just a little hiccup there.
But no, I think, as I said, once Fulham scored, the first couple of minutes afterwards they continued, but they've just dropped back into that shell of trying to play out from the back, as you see there. They've lost their imagination and they've stopped going forward early, and you expect now United to really kick on, because Fulham cannot for the life of them keep doing what they're doing and expect to win.
I think I ate those French fancies too quickly that you gave me earlier on. Troy bought the snacks tonight. Here on the left hand side, it's with Ivan Caballero, who tries to attack for Fulham. He produces a decent cross into the near post, maybe a little bit too close to the goalkeeper actually, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek can't reach it, and it's bowled out by David De Gea. It is Fulham 1, Manchester United 1, live and exclusive here on TalkSport with Sam Atterface and Troy Deeney at Craven Cottage in West London this evening, and it's currently Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. The latest odds are available for you via Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get a Fulham win at 11-2, the draw at 14-5, or a Manchester United win at 6-4 on. And that's all thanks to Betfair. More ways to bet, more ways to win. 18+. BeGambleAware.org. Big games in the Championship tonight, and Norwich have already beaten Bristol City over on TalkSport 2 by 2 goals to nil. Very much looking to secure promotion straight back to the Premier League. Norwich City. Brentford are 1-up against Luton Town. Cardiff 1-0 down against Queen's Park Rangers. Millwall 1-0 up away from home at Huddersfield. And Nottingham Forest 0, Middlesbrough 2, Birmingham 0, Preston 0 is a half-time score. Livingston 1-0 up over Celtic in the Scottish Premiership. And earlier on tonight, Manchester City beat Aston Villa by 2 goals to nil. Here it's 1 apiece, and Edinson Cavani is on the score sheet, and it's only his 5th goal in a Manchester United jersey, and I think most of them have all come as a substitute, but that one he was off the mark very quickly as the ball is hoisted into the scaffolding over on the far side, and is a poacher's finish. You would have been proud of that one, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's a perfect one for a striker. 3-4 yards out, keeper's dropped it right on your toe and just got to get a good contact, and he's put it away really well. But I liked his celebration as well. One of let's go now, not look at me, I've scored. It's right, let's go and get the win.
He did do the the bow and arrow celebration first, didn't he?
He deserves it. He scored.
Have you not got your own bespoke, copyrighted celebration yet?
I used to slide on my knees when I was about 25, and now it just hurts, so I just run to the corner.
Have you found the sort of socially distant celebration difficult yet? Is that sort of that you've all discussed?
Yeah, we did that last night. We tried to just do more of a high five kind of situation. It's difficult. Naturally, you want to go and celebrate with your teammates, and ultimately what you're working all week for is to embrace in those moments. So, we have to understand in this current climate that it's just not possible. And if you don't get to hug your teammates, it's just one of those things you have to deal with. There's people that can't hug their family members, so we have to take into context of what's going on in the real world and use our responsibility properly.
I thought I'd bring up that you scored a goal last night.
I was in.
He's not. It's cleared away over on the far side by Anderson ahead of Cavani, and it's out for a throw-in to Manchester United. 27 minutes played. It's Pogba moving the ball towards the left-hand side. Now it's with Shaw. Shaw takes it on. He was very, very good, I think, in the game with Liverpool. In fact, he's been quite good for a few weeks now, Luke Shaw. I don't know if that's because he's been playing a lot of matches, so he's got a match fitness and he's showing his talent. He's always been a talented player ever since he was a youngster, but he's playing more games now. Pogba's ball over towards the near side. He's a bit off radar. Martial dropped in to try and come short for him. It went a little bit over his head and flew out of play in the right full-back position.
I think he's just tried to move his side there for sure to go on the overlap, but the ball may become a couple of seconds too early. I like that Fernandes has really started upping the tempo. If you see him now, ball's going out of play, he's really getting after it.
Here is Fred fighting for it in the centre of midfield. He loves a scrap in that central midfield area. Pogba, not a great ball to Fernandes, but he turns it into a good one by poking it out to Wan-Bissaka, who takes a touch to send it down the touchline, then swirls across to the back post. Martial is there with a header, took a deflection and goes out for a corner as it bobbles over the top of the crossbar, and it's narrowly over the top and out for another Manchester United set piece. 1-1.
It's a great ball in for Wan-Bissaka there, backed himself, and I think that's probably one of the arguments you could have with Wan-Bissaka when he's going forward. His final delivery is not to the standard you'd expect it to. It's a great ball to the back post, stood it up well, and Martial's attacked it well. Tete
didn't get too much on that. It looks as if it came off the shoulder of Martial, but the corner has been given. It's towards the far post, and Harry Maguire has missed the free header on the penalty spot. It's come off one of those many angles of his forehead and has gone straight out and away for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think he should be doing a lot better there. He's got a real clear run. Again, that zonal marking that Fulham are trying to do there hasn't worked out because no one stepped out to go and attack the ball, and he's right on the penalty spot and put it maybe 5-6 yards wide.
Deck, our producer just brought me a bottle of water. I think he thought that I needed one after it was a hiccup. So it's fine, it was just a hiccup. It was the French fancy. Don't panic. It is 1-1 between Fulham and Manchester United. You're listening to Talk Sport. The ball taken down and up to the halfway line by Ivan Caballero. Through the centre circle he runs and comes out the other side. He's got support on this right side for Tete. Blocking his run was Martial, who got back in for Manchester United. It goes out for a throw-in. Half an hour played on Talk Sport. 1-1 the score. And should Manchester United win tonight, they would equal a club record of 17 league games without a defeat in the top flight. Away from home, which is pretty impressive. They last did it in 98-99. If my memory serves me rightly, that was a pretty good year for them.
It wasn't a bad year, was it? No, I think United have really grown into the game. Obviously the early setback wasn't ideal, but I think Fulham have allowed them back in as well. They've stopped pressing higher up the pitch. They've started just getting into that contain mode and not really getting forward.
Here's Ruben Loftus-Cheek taking the ball down, but the foul has been given against I think it was on Eric Bailly on the edge of the area over on the far side.
Yeah, just a little push in the back there. From the throw in. Loftus-Cheek, a little push in the back just before the balls come in. But I think Fulham need to start pressing higher again and maybe play a little bit longer. Their first couple of passes, just drop it into Loftus-Cheek or Lookman, as we saw earlier, getting hold of the ball really well, and then build from there. At this moment in time, if you look, it's like a line of 15 players on the halfway line here.
Scott Parker was just talking to the assistant referee Peter Kirkup over on the far side. He wasn't happy about something. The ball cleared by De Gea. Just about gets it over the halfway line. Pogba brings it down and sends it left into Luke Shaw. It's back to Fernandes. Again, not a great ball into Fernandes, but he manages to keep hold of possession. And now Maguire strides out of defence, out towards the right side. It's collected by Greenwood. Greenwood back into Maguire. Fernandes wanted it. Lookman rushed Maguire. Manchester United keep the ball. Maguire's got it back again from Greenwood, pokes it wide to Cavani, who's in the wing position now. There's 2 or 3 in the centre, and one of them is Pogba. Now Fernandes is on the ball, 10 yards from the edge of the penalty area, flicks it beautifully out towards this left-hand side. It's collected by Shaw, who's up and under, might cause trouble inside that penalty area. Well taken charge of by Tosin, and he heads it up towards the halfway line. Fernandes back again, down the right, looking for Cavani. Misfielded by Brian, and it goes out for a throw-in down by the corner flag to Manchester United. 1-1.
Fernandes orchestrating there. He's not happy with Luke Shaw not getting into the back post, but I think that's when Maguire's at his best, when he steps in and really starts to putting the pressure on from the back from United. He's got in front of his man there and driven it out wide.
Yeah, I mean, that was the feature of Harry Maguire's play, wasn't it? Either a year ago, 2 years ago, it was what sort of alerted everyone's attention. He'd pick the ball up, he'd drive into midfield and create an extra body, which would unsettle teams. Yeah,
he commits the other team to having to come out, because you're not going to let him keep running. He does have that quality where he can pick a pass as well, but I think United need that for him to step on and really put that ejection of pace in. And as you say, you got Fernandes and people like that in front. I want to see a bit more from Greenwood. I don't really remember us mentioning his name tonight.
Oh, he's been anonymous over on that far side, and it's been a long time since he scored a goal. 9 games without a goal now for Mason Greenwood. He's only 19 years of age, and it's his second season after a brilliant breakthrough last year. He has had his difficulties, but he's sort of toiling away over on that right-hand side and hasn't really got involved in the match so far. We've played just over 32 minutes, and it's 1-1. Here's Fernandes, edge of the area, trying to get away from Anderson, and a little bit of skill which takes the ball one way and Fernandes the other. Anderson was sold by that, and he committed a foul which gives a free kick to Manchester United in a dangerous area.
He's growing, though, isn't he? He's growing into the game. He's becoming a real influence. Great bit of skill there, and a bit of a swipe from Anderson to try and get it, but a great position for a free kick, and you fancy Fernandes to have a go from here.
Yeah, I think there was a brief moment where someone suggested that they might take the free kick, and it would dispatch quite quickly.
It was a very firm, I've got it, thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution, but I'm all right.
Yeah, again, I think Fernandes, he started to grow into it, started to really dictate the game. The tempo's all coming from him, and he's already hit the post and had a great save from the keeper, so maybe third time lucky.
Well, there's a 4-man wall, and then there's Harrison Reed lying on the floor underneath, and Fernandes hits it over the wall and pretty much over the Putney end and into the river miles away. In fact, he's sailing down towards Tower Bridge now. It was that far over the top of the crossbar. Not the greatest of free kicks from Bruno Fernandes.
No, it's one of them when you start looking at the floor and wondering whether you can blame somebody. He's got right underneath it, and it never looked like coming down, unfortunately, so maybe fourth time lucky.
Now, Craven Cottage is that ground that all football reporters call picturesque. In happy times, and they'll probably describe to you the walk down by the riverside. I'll talk about the tree-lined streets of Victorian cottages and the walk through Bishop's Park. Well, not tonight. I don't think it's very pleasant in these conditions. Here's Greenwood trying to stumble his way towards the edge of the penalty area. He left a little bit on Zambo and Gisa, and a free kick is given against Mason Greenwood, and it's Fulham's ball on the edge of their own penalty area. The park, Bishop's Park, that hugs the River Thames, looks a little bit like a building site at the moment. Opposite us, Fulham are constructing a new Riverside stand, which on this side is a purpose-built, it looks very grand, football stand. On the other side, behind it, it's part of a walkway that links Hammersmith and Putney Bridge. They'll have shops and restaurants, they'll have a health club, it's got flats and accommodation in there as well. Last night I mentioned I thought it had a pool on the rooftop. I went on the website today to find out and get that confirmation. It does. And I asked Dean Ashton whether or not he would be going in there when it opens, and he said he thought that he would if somebody else was paying. The ball has been flung into the centre of the penalty area, aimed towards Martial, didn't quite reach it and cleared away by Fulham. And Fulham have picked it up midway inside their own half, out towards the left. Is it distracting when you're playing in an arena where you're used to playing, and there's scaffolding all around or the environment's slightly different. Something's happened over on this near side involving Kenny Tete, which the referee wants to stop because there is an injury to him. I think Fernandez just landed on him and then Shaw went in just to make sure that the job was done. But is it when you've got there is a crane which is sort of half built hanging over the corner flag in the far corner. Is that quite distracting, that environmental change?
Yeah, it's certainly different. I think in the modern game now you're used to having enclosed stadiums, so when you can feel that wind, and we can certainly feel it up here kicking in, and that's certainly going to be something different. And the cranes are green as well, just so you can see them a bit more as well, so that will get in your head a bit. But ultimately, once this game's going, I don't think anyone's really looking at that building site other than me and you, mate.
Yeah, I think it's coming on quite nicely. Here is Harrison Reed as they look to try and build an attack now, Fulham, and they haven't done that in the last 10 or 15 minutes or so. In fact, we haven't seen them inside the Manchester United half for a while. Here's Zambo and Gisa, though, down the left, into Caballero. He's in behind, but he's overcooked it. Just didn't quite take it in properly. Couldn't get it under control, Caballero, and it ran off his feet and behind and away for a goal kick when Fulham got a chance to get in behind the United defence.
Again, when Fulham get runners in behind like that, it's really good play. He's got in behind Bailly there, and it's that second touch that unfortunately he's took him out of play.
What a chance. It was a similar way to the goal that Lookman scored, but on the other side, where he just timed his run from deep impeccably, went beyond the two Manchester United defenders, but he just a heavy touch took it away from him, and the Portuguese saw the ball spill behind into the Hammersmith end, and it was cleared by Manchester United, who have come from behind to equalise here. It's 1-1 on Talk Sport with Sam Matterface and Troy Deeney. Here is Luke Shaw to Maguire. Maguire across to Bailly, and a little back heel from Maguire into Shaw. And then it's back to Fred once again, who gets it under control, small and diminutive. He swirls the ball out towards the far side. It's collected now by Wan-Bissaka into Pogba. Pogba back out to Wan-Bissaka again. Gets into a crossing position, hesitates, and then hoists the ball towards the far post. This time Areola's handling is not questioned, and he pulls it into his chest ahead of Ola Aina, who was in his presence, and he will clear the ball towards the far side. At half-time we'll hear from Pep Guardiola and Dean Smith, who was sent off in the game at the Etihad. It finished Manchester City 2, Aston Villa 0. Lots of games in the Championship this evening. Norwich have already won. Brentford 1-0 up. They're in stoppage time there. QPR 1-0 up in stoppage time. Millwall 1-0 up towards the end of their match. And Birmingham 0, Preston 0. 52 minutes on the clock there in the Championship this evening. We're at Craven Cottage. Fulham 1, Manchester United 1, with Troy Deeney here as well. You keep an eye, I suppose, on what's happening in the Championship. It's of big interest to you.
Yeah, it is. To be honest, if I'm not here, I'm watching the games, and obviously got the scores on in the background as well, so you're always doing it, and I'm very privileged to be in this position to be able to watch live football. As we spoke about earlier, a lot of people will be loving to do this, so I don't take it for granted, and we're witnessing a very interesting game at this moment in time.
Yeah, it's got a little bit cagey, hasn't it? And here is Maguire trying to open things up, sends it down the left on towards Shaw. It was quite a fast start to the match, and I suppose we should have anticipated that, because Fulham and Manchester United are the two teams that conceded the most goals in the opening 15 minutes of games, and it's 1-1, and we've played 39 minutes here. There was a high foot from Pogba just a moment ago that went unpunished by Martin Atkinson. I mean, the high foot was on Harrison Reed, and Harrison Reed is about 5'1", so let's put it in context. But it was a high foot, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he's gone looking for it as well. He's dipped his head in a bit, so good call from the ref to play on. Is that your mate Ngita that's gone over there to the subs bench? Yeah,
he's just gone over to get a bit of water. There has been a free kick given just in front of the centre circle, maybe about 10 yards in front of the centre circle, to Fulham for a foul by Pogba subsequently on Lookman. Harrison Reed and Joe Bryant taking it. Joe Bryant, we know, can score free kicks from anywhere. Goalkeepers everywhere panic as soon as he stands on the ball inside opposition territory, but they played it square to Tete, who's changed the angle. Not the greatest of deliveries, away towards Anguissa, edge of the box, and then back by Anderson to Tete, who again will try to find a different cross this time. He takes a touch to get it out of his feet, then swirls it towards the penalty spot. The header, well, it wasn't the best from Tosin, and it bounces in front of goalkeeper De Gea, and Manchester United have it back again, 1-1.
wasted opportunity from Fulham there. Thought trying to get in the box would have been a better option at the start. They've tried to change the angle, but as soon as they've done that, the centre halves have gone sprinting back and they've lost a lot of height, just left one in the box, and he's trying to score a header from 22 yards.
Anderson coming out of defence with the ball, almost ran into Fernandez. The Manchester United press is on here. They've got to be very careful, and Geese has got it now under pressure from Fernandez. Areola has it. He's already had one mishap, doesn't want another. Kicks clear towards the halfway line. Shaw heads it down. Manchester United have got it back, and now it's with Fred just left of the centre circle. On to Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka, he tries to force the issue by taking on Lookman and getting down the right side, produces another high cross towards the back post. Martial was underneath it. It was headed away by Tete and then hooked clear towards the halfway line, and Manchester United have got it again. Wan-Bissaka keeps getting down that right hand side and hoisting the ball in, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely giving it some airtime on that. I just feel if Man United up it 5 or 10%, there'll be another goal here.
Shaw delivers a decent ball towards the back post, and Martial's header, he gets up high to connect with that, but loops it high over the top of the crossbar as well. It hits the stanchion holding up the net behind the goal, and it's away for a goal kick. It's Fulham 1, Manchester United 1 here on TalkSport with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Sell your car in under an hour, leaving you with more time to enjoy the football. And it's been an intriguing match between Fulham, who started the day inside the bottom 3, and Manchester United, who started the day with the carrot that they could end up being back on top again. Manchester City currently residing in top position, but know that Manchester United know that a win will take them to the top of the table. The ball is out towards the right side, and it's aimed towards Greenwood, and then it just floats behind and away for a goal kick. And again, he hasn't really managed to get into the game, Mason Greenwood, which is a little bit disappointed from his point of view.
Yeah, it's a poor ball from Wan-Bissaka, though, give him no chance to even get involved. But I was saying just before the last attack, I think if United just up this 5 or 10% with the quickness of play, they'll really open Fulham up here. There's a chance to hit Fulham, and I think Fernandez is getting in that great little pocket again. They just need to find him in there, and he can get a shot off or just slide a little slide rule pass in for somebody.
Fulham, who started this game really well and then just found themselves regressing into their shell a little bit and found it difficult to come back out. The end of half, not hanging on, but like in a situation where you know that Manchester United are in the ascendancy.
Yeah, it's kind of like you'd expect this at like 80 minutes, not after the first 15 that they had. United will keep going, but I do think United will look to probably make changes in the next 15 minutes into the second half, because I think, oh god,
here comes Greenwood now dancing into the penalty area after winning a clearance which was not the best from Fulham. He strikes the ball at Tosin, and it's cleared by Fulham and collected by Bryant and up towards the halfway line. Chested down by Caballero, but Wan-Bissaka is across very quickly, and they've tied it up again. It'd be interesting to see what sort of changes he does make, because there is a big game at the weekend against Liverpool in the Cup. He has got such a great squad though, and the ability to make so many changes is important. I think they have 5 during the Cup games as well, don't they? So they'll be able to make more at the weekend, and they will rotate probably the entire team, I would have thought.
I just think it just looks like a game that's built for Rashford, someone that's willing to run in behind, off the ball, because United have got loads of ball in these deep positions, but they just need that willing runner in behind, as Fred just tried to hit one in for Martial, who came short when, again, I think that running behind is more suited.
He got a bit of criticism, didn't he, Marcus Rashford, for the timing of his runs on Sunday afternoon, but I suppose the key factor is that he's making those runs and he's continually doing so.
Yeah, I thought he was a bit eager, a bit too willing to get in there. I think the problem is when you're so fast, again, it's easy when you're slow like me, you can say, just take your time, because you're so quick you'll get there, but he also knows that if he gets it right, there's no one that's going to catch him, and I just think this game is set for him in this position now. If you could be picking him out, it'd be great.
Yeah, because Pogba's taken it down the halfway line, looked up, he saw the dart from Greenwood down the right, couldn't quite pick him out. Now he has got it, Greenwood, right angle of the penalty area. We're into stoppage time at the end of the first half. 2 minutes have been added, we're almost completed that, and Pogba is still foraging down the right side, but it's taken in by Caballero. A little bump off the ball by Wan-Bissaka, and that's the last action of the first 45 minutes. The first 45 minutes, which didn't start very brightly for Manchester United at all. Ademola Lookman scoring after just 5 minutes, running through the centre, getting in behind the Manchester United defence and slotting past David De Gea for his third goal of the campaign. Bruno Fernandes certainly played a part in the Manchester United equaliser, hitting the post, then recycling the ball so that when Areola made a mishandle, Cavani was there to tuck home to make it 1-1. Manchester United have the chance to grab power again tonight, but at the moment they may well end up pardoning Fulham. They need to take control in the second half. At the break, it is Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. And those seats are right on the perimeter of the pitch, aren't they? Such is the building work and such is its proximity to the playing surface that those seats that the Manchester United and the Fulham staff occupy are very close to the edge of the pitch where Scott Parker is standing, and so is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the start of the second half. Manchester United in red shirts, white shorts, attacking the goal now to our right-hand side. And the wind is not as vicious as it was in the first half, Troy, but it's still there, isn't it? And that might well make a difference in this second 45. Fulham in white shirts and black shorts attacking the goal away to our left.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a problem. It's probably one of the only disappointments you thought from a Fulham perspective is that when they had set pieces, they didn't really put the ball in the box and see what that wind could do. I think now, as I said, I really do think United will get in and around 30 yards and let a couple go just to see what the wind does, especially with the keeper's already made a mistake in the game.
And then there was almost a mistake from Anderson, who played a short back pass towards the goalkeeper, and Cavani just sort of sniffed at a chance. He thought there might be an opportunity there. It ended up going back to Areola, enough for him to clear it, and it's upfield. I'll go through the 2-11s. Areola is the goalkeeper for Fulham, made a mistake in the first half of the equaliser. Aina, Anderson and Tosin are the back three. Kenny Tete and Joe Bryan are the wing backs. Reid and Zambo and Gisa are in midfield. Zambo and Gisa has been booked, and Loftus-Cheek and Lookman and Caballero, a sort of carousel of attackers going forward away to our left-hand side. And Lookman has just used his body to get in behind Wan-Bissaka and feed Caballero. Comes to Reid, who strikes it straight down the middle of the goal, but a yard over the top of the crossbar. Troy Deeney.
Yeah, it was Lookman on Pogba, to be honest with you. He just wanted it a bit more. Pogba's gone down really easy, and he's cut back inside Lookman, give it to Caballero, who's set Harrison, who's let it go. And you know, that's what Fulham need to do. As I said earlier, press higher up. As you can see now, pressing really in the final third and making Man United have to go long. Great ball from Fred there, and Fernandes is getting that pocket again.
De Gea is the Manchester United goalkeeper. It's Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Maguire and Shaw the back four. Pogba and Fred in midfield, Fernandes just ahead of them, and then Greenwood and Martial flanking Cavani in attack. And Greenwood and Martial, we haven't seen too much of either of them actually in the first 45 minutes. I'm sure Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be thinking that he will want more from them in the second half. And here is Mason Greenwood just in front of us, in front of our commentary position, which is just on the halfway line. It's the front of what is the sort of second tier of the main stand that we are setting in here at Craven Cottage, the Johnny Haynes stand. The ball is worked out towards the left-hand side, and Manchester United look to attack with Martial. Ball back to Fred, edge of the area, trying to skip past a challenge. Caballero is there. Pogba goes across, tries to stop him from breaking, and does just that. Turns it over, runs towards the edge of the area. He's got support. Fernandes swishes it wide towards the right, controlled eventually by Wan-Bissaka. Back to Fernandes again. 48 on the clock, 1-1 on Talk Sport. The ball is played left by Maguire. Right on the chalk of the touchline, it's with Shaw, and then a ball down the left side. Was hopeful more than anything else from Martial. He was anticipating that Shaw would continue his run, or someone would dart into that area. They didn't, and it dribbles behind and goes out for a goal kick for Fulham. 1-1.
It's been poor, hasn't it, this game, Martial? Spoke about him at the start of the session today, and we thought he'd want to really impact the game, but he looks a frustrated figure. He's not on the same wavelength with Shaw on a couple of occasions, and you're hoping now that you might get that chance to really put it away, because otherwise he could be in danger of coming off here.
Cavani wrestles with the ball over on the far side and wins it from Kenny Tete, who then goes down and the ball goes out and away for a throw-in. United have been level at half-time in 10 of their 18 league games this season. We know how many they've gone on to win, and they've won each of their last 4 meetings with Fulham. The last Fulham victory against Manchester United was December 2009. TalkSport's Danny Murphy was on the score sheet, Bobby Zamora as well, and Damien Duff scored in a 3-0 win here. Rooney was sent off in that game. Here's Fernandes onto Martial, bit of space in the penalty area, and again I'm not entirely sure that was the right choice. He got to sort of perpendicular with the 6-yard box down the left side of the area, and then he sort of stabbed at an outside of the boot cross when really it needed a bit more conviction than that.
And he's up against Reed as well, who's filled in as he's got him behind, so that's what I'm saying earlier on. You want him to get after it and really make a decision. That's where I'd like to see Martial go either right foot or left foot, drive at him and get a shot off. And as you said, it was a more of a hopeful outside the right boot cross and hope for something to happen.
Here is the corner. It's taken by Shaw to the penalty spot. Maguire gets there, hits a deflection, I think. I thought it came off a Fulham body, but the referee says no. It was Maguire's header, and it's out of play and away for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. And that wind's picked up again, and so has the rain. And the respite was very short-lived, although I think this is nothing compared to what's going on around the country. In fact, in my hometown where I live, there are floods everywhere tonight. So do stay safe, whatever you're doing, if you're travelling at the moment or if you are in a flood area. The best of wishes to you. Here is Luke Shaw stumbling over on the far side. There's a kick from behind by Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's trying to unsettle the left fullback of Manchester United. Fred plays it against Ademola Lookman. It goes out for a throw-in deep inside United territory.
Yeah, as you said, the wind and rain's picked up again. So again, you expect now shots in, try and bobble them just in front of the keeper, make it uncomfortable. And if you're Fulham now, you've got to start putting them balls in the box and winning some free kicks and making sure it's really difficult for United to deal with the aerial threat that they clearly have.
Manchester United would have been the favourites when the game was level anyway. Here is Ruben Loftus-Cheek, lovely little touch to take him past Maguire. Low ball into the penalty area, swished at by Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but there was no one in white to come and finish off what was a delicious cross. Back to Caballero, into the area looking for Lookman, away by Maguire. And Manchester United survived what was probably the most dangerous attack that Fulham have fashioned since they scored their goal after 5 minutes. They're coming again with Ruben Loftus-Cheek down the right into the area. He sends Fred away, sets up Lookman with a shot straight down the throat of the goalkeeper, who drops on the ball. And it's an easy save for David De Gea, and Lookman is disappointed with his finish. But what a lovely bit of movement involving Tete and then Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
That's 2 bits of play from Ruben Loftus-Cheek that we've all been asking for weeks now. That's the player that gets it in the corner. Great little turn on Harry Maguire, leaves him for dead. Great ball in. Unfortunately, no natural striker to go across the 6-yard box. And then you look at it again, great play. And Lookman should probably do better with the finish, and that was a very strange wayward pass from Pogba there that he's just kicked straight out for a goal kick to Fulham.
I wonder whether or not he was trying sort of almost like a hook shot and hoping that it got caught up in the wind and landed in behind the Fulham defence. I mean, maybe I'm being kind, but it was very odd because he just went as high as he could with it.
Yeah, I think he's forgot that the wind's in his favour now.
It remains 1-1 on TalkSport. Harrison Reed dispossessed by Pogba. Now Fernandes is 4-on-4 and United coming forward. Fernandes went to hit it first time, then just took an extra touch when maybe he didn't need to, and then when he did eventually strike it, it cannoned into Tosin and out for a throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area.
Again, got into that great pocket of space. Pogba's put him away, and I think he got caught in 2 minds. I think Cavani made a very good run, and I think he saw it late, which stopped him from shooting, and then the chance was gone. And again, in that area, 25-30 yards out, Fernandes is very much looking to pick holes in this Fulham defence, and obviously he's in there again, as you can see now. But he's going to start dictating the play, and I want to start seeing shots from this kind of range now and force Fulham back.
Martial approaching the 18-yard box. box, doesn't quite get it to Shaw, gets it back again. Fernandes, who just seems to be taking fewer touches, just popping it off into space to people, which is probably a good idea. Pogba trying to do the same, finds Bailly, slides it down the right. Greenwood attacks the fullback Brian, gets it onto his left foot, lovely cross towards the far post, headed into the air, not defended perfectly. Anderson gets it away, Shaw slams it back in, hits Tete, goes out for a throw-in over on the far side, down by the corner flag.
Man United up in the tempo now. You can, as you said, with Fernandes, 1 and 2 touch, he's really trying to drag those Fulham players out, and if they do, he can get the 1-2 and get a shot off, but if they don't, he's going to look to try and get some shots in from distance for the look of it.
1-1 the score, 10 minutes played in the second half, and that ball to Wan-Bissaka just didn't really have enough legs on it, and it meant that when Lookman went to scurry towards it, Wan-Bissaka was under pressure. It just slowed the Manchester United attack. Here they come down the left with Shaw and then Martial in front of advertising hoarding, which is trumpeting the spectacular new riverside that transforms our iconic home. I'll let you wonder what that's all about. Wan-Bissaka moves towards the edge of the area. Pogba with a delicious ball towards the far post. Bruno Fernandes is there with a header saved by Areola, but the offside flag was up anyway. Well, it was a lovely ball in, wasn't it? What a brilliant ball in towards the back post, and Fernandes was waiting.
That's probably the ball he tried to do 10 minutes ago, but it's a great ball, no look, and Fernandes is maybe a yard offside there, but great save from the keeper who wasn't to know. But United are really dialing it up now, and you'd expect a goal to come in the next 5-10 minutes if he continues like this.
It was a great ball from Pogba, wasn't it?
That was a great quality. He didn't even have to look, just put it straight in that channel between centre half and the 18-yard box, and let everybody come and attack it. And it's a great ball, and I think, as I say, Fulham are going to have to change something here, because at this moment in time, other than that little 30-second spell, it's all United.
Ball headed over the top of the Fulham defence, looking for Greenwood. Fred has overcooked that, and it goes out of play and away for a goal kick. Pogba has played a variety of positions recently, the left-hand side, the right-hand side, now back in a position where he's not always as comfortable, slightly deeper in midfield, but it feels as if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is just desperate to get him into the team.
I think he's more suited to this in this style of game, because they got more of the ball, so let him be in there, try that other pass that other players might not take the risk of. He's very confident, as we know, and he wants to try and do those passes, spectacular passes that will break the lines. So I think in this kind of game you can play him in the middle because you can trust him. I think what he doesn't do so well was highlighted with Fulham's goal, where he doesn't track the runners great, and that's where in the big games you could see Solskjaer obviously looking at McTominay in there because of the defensive duties that he does, and maybe put Pogba out on the left, and you can let him influence the game from there.
This is Harrison Reed in the centre of midfield for Fulham, who are hoping to get back in front in this game after taking the lead after 5 minutes, pegged back by Cavani's goal after an Alphonse Areola error from a Bruno Fernandes cross. It is Fulham's second worst start to a Premier League season after 17 games. They took 9 points from their first 17 the last time they were in the Prem, and got relegated under a combination of Jokanovic, Ranieri and Scott Parker, that after spending £105 million. But they have only won 2 games so far this campaign, and although there are signs of improvement with a number of draws leading up to that Chelsea defeat, they need to start posting more points on the board if they're going to stay and keep their heads above water.
Yeah, and let's be honest, these are not the games that their season are going to be defined on, but when you're starting the game off as they did, you'd expect them to be looking to at least get a point from this game. I think they're already hanging on, and that's been since about 7 minutes into the game. They've scored, and that's really it. All they've offered after that is a couple of little flurries, and they was in a position to really go and put Man United on the back foot to start with, and what a tackle that is.
Tete sliding across the greasy surface, and he's put Ruben Loftus-Cheek on the front foot. He's then overhit his pass forward to Lookman, and it goes straight through to David De Gea. But that was a quick breakaway from Fulham. A tackle by Tete to dispossess Shaw just immediately put them on the front foot. Ruben Loftus-Cheek led the charge but couldn't come up with the final ball.
It's a great tackle, but this is the Fulham's type of game now, where it's end to end. It's a bit more open, and you just want them to go and finish the attacks. Make United have to have a goal kick or win something from a corner or something, but they end up back here in their own half playing it around the back, and Man United are comfortable again. They're all set and they're waiting for you to come, and I think Fulham will have to make a change at some point to just try and influence a little bit, because when United start making their changes, and looks like that's Rashford and Van der Beek who are starting to go through the motions now, they're only going to get faster and stronger.
Here is Caballero, who's pretty fast himself, sends it out wide towards Joe Bryant, who slips as he attempts to cross, and he hoiks that one right behind the David De Gea goal, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. I think Manchester United will make some changes too. I just wonder whether or not Fernandes is asking for a different type of movement alongside him. I'm not sure he trusts Mason Greenwood. He keeps having a quick word with him.
Yeah, he looks like he's trying to coach him through the game a little bit. He's got some different expectations, but I think when you have players of that nature who know what they want, who are really dictating the game, I think he has a right to start demanding, especially because he's demanding from himself. And as we said, Martial, Greenwood haven't really done much so far in the game. That can obviously always change, but he wants more, and he's clearly a winner, and that's why he's so effective in this Man United team.
Ball is out of play far side. He's won the throw-in. He wants to take it quickly and get things moving. He tosses it back to Fred. Fred takes a couple of paces forward and then plays it back out to aforementioned Bruno Fernandes. Martial again, edge of the area, breaks down with him, and it's cleared away by Tete into the scaffolding over on the far side.
I just thought that last Fulham attack summed them up brilliantly though. They were attacking a Man United 7 with 3 players there, including their left back. So shows how adventurous they're being. They are trying their best to make sure they stay in this game for as long as possible.
Ultra cautious. Here is Pogba to Greenwood, and then Pogba tries to switch the play to the left, and Shaw, who takes it down well into Fernandes inside the area, and it's half cleared by Fulham, and then Fred goes in for a tackle, doesn't quite work its way to him. Ruben Loftus-Cheek tries to cut away from Cavani and start a counter-attack, and Fred was there to shut the situation down. Manchester United have it back again. A little bit of frustration from Cavani there. The wind howls down again, and conditions aren't particularly nice.
But I think the frustration, Sam, is that they're getting into this area here and it's slow as Pogba loses it.
And here comes Lookman, who's anything but slow, chasing down the left side. It's got absolutely zero support, so has to chop back, and then he's wrestling with Pogba, who keeps it in play, and Greenwood escapes over the halfway line. And then there's a little nudge from Joe Bryant, who did score against Manchester United for Bristol City in the League Cup quarter-finals of 2017. He's also got himself a yellow card this evening.
But you just touched on it there. They've won the ball back really high up. Lookman's alone, all on his own, with just him and the left back in 10-15 yards of him.
How lonely is that when that happens to you? Because you've played a lone striker role, and sometimes I imagine you've been isolated.
Oh, of course, but I think the problem is as well, it gets soul destroying, because as you can see, Lookman now is 35-40 yards out of his own from his own goal line. So it just automatically creates an atmosphere that everyone's defensive. So when you actually get it in transition, there's only 2 players going to attack. So there's actually it's kind of like you're going, we're going to lose it, let's just stay back in. There's no confidence in the team.
Fulham 1, Manchester United 1 on TalkSport with Now TV, and don't forget you can watch Liverpool versus Burnley live tomorrow with a Now TV Sky Sports Pass for just $9.99. Search Now TV. And the game's at a tipping point. We have played 63 minutes. Manchester United at the moment feel in control of it, but if they don't get that second goal, Fulham might start to believe they can get a point out of it. Here is Greenwood on the edge of the penalty area, and then Fernandes to Martial with a diving header, and it's gloved by Areola. It wasn't the most powerful header, it wasn't the most accurate header, and it was offside anyway. It wouldn't have counted even if he had found the back of the net, which he didn't.
Yeah, it's a great ball in that one. They've done that twice now, where it just gets cut back to the edge of the box, and first time without looking, just kind of stand it up towards the second post. But it's a real tough one for United at the moment. They're in control, but they're not often a threat that you really think, all right, it's coming now. I think they need to pick up the tempo in and around the 18-yard box, and think Fernandes and Cavani, as you said earlier, cutting frustrated figures because it's really slow in this area here where it's coming out to Wan-Bissaka.
Sort of midfield area inside the Fulham half, and now it's on to Greenwood, who's in the right wing position. His cross is decent, but it's headed away by Anderson, and then Caballero gets in front of a dawdling Wan-Bissaka, and it's cleared up into the air. The wind takes it, bringing it down is Pogba, who dances his way to the edge of the 6-yard line, shoots and brilliantly curls the ball behind the diving, sprawling Areola. A wonderful hit. It was so good they can't contain their joy. Manchester United in front from an absolute world-class finish from Paul Pogba. There was no way that Alphonse Areola was clasping that. It fizzed past him after coming off the boot of World Cup winner Paul Pogba. Fulham 1, Manchester United 2, and United have come from behind again to lead on the road.
That's world class. That is absolutely world class. Anyone that can't see this ball gets put in the air about 50 metres in the air. He pulls it out with one touch, takes a couple of touches back inside onto his left foot, maybe 25 yards out, and unleashes a left-footed strike straight to the far top corner. And it's a great goal and world-class goal. But I think, again, as we said, Fulham are inviting this pressure. They're going to have to change something now, because ultimately this is going to end up being a 4-5-1 for Man United if they don't change something.
He absolutely loved that goal. From the minute it hit his foot, it was swirling and moving like the wind here at Craven Cottage, and it flew past Alphonse Areola, and he couldn't contain himself. They were all on him, even in this climate with the edict of socially distanced celebrations. They just couldn't contain the joy. It was such a beautiful goal. And Manchester United lead by 2-1, and they've got another chance here with Cavani with a header from Fernandes' cross. It's saved by Areola down low to his left this time, and poured away by the France international goalkeeper.
What a ball from Fernandes, and I told you, they're going to really pick you up now. United, they got that, they can sense blood and they're going. It's a great ball from Fernandes, great run from Cavani. He's done everything right, and it's a wonderful save from the goalkeeper. But you look around this Fulham team now, and it's a lot of heads down, a lot of finger pointing, because they were doing all right to start with, but at this moment in time they've got nothing going forward. It's a front two versus the 10 of Man United.
But you felt they were always going to come back and win this game, didn't you, Manchester United?
Yeah, but because I don't think Fulham have offered anything going forward. As I keep saying, Lookman's maybe, for anyone that is unable to picture this, is maybe the midway through his Fulham half. He stood there at the moment marking Fred. So at what point do you get an out? There's nothing for the Man United to worry about, and all they're going to keep doing now is coming with wave and wave after attack, and they're already winning. So now they can keep the ball, say to Fulham, come on then, because they're going to have to press at some point, they're going to have to make changes, and they'll pick them off because of the quality that they have.
Bailly on the halfway line to Maguire, who tries to stick it back down the right towards Bruno Fernandes. He kills it with one touch, sends it back to Pogba, who's just scored that fantastic goal. I mean, it is an absolute corker from the right edge of the area, left-footed, and it was just swirling back inside the post from the moment it left his foot. And Paul Pogba celebrated, knowing that should be the goal that takes them back to the top of the table.
He's definitely a candidate for goal of the season already. I just think now Man United will have a potential to play with Fulham here. They can full sense them in of keeping the ball, keep it moving, and as long as they move it quickly, there's going to be an opportunity for United to get 4 and 5 here.
Well, it's 2-1 at the moment to Manchester United, who, if they win, go back to the top of the table above Manchester City, who won earlier today by 2-0. There's a yellow card coming out here for Ola Aina, who's just trotting back into position for a little nibble of Anthony Martial. It's full time in the Championship. Birmingham 0, Preston 1. That's just finished.
3 or 4 of the back line of the 5 for Fulham are getting very frustrated. They just cut a frustrated figure if you're looking at them now, heads down, kind of going through the motions. I'm looking around, there's only really Lookman who strikes me that he feels he's going to get another chance. The rest are just kind of accepting it at this moment in time.
Well, they haven't conceded as many goals as they were doing at the beginning of the season. The last 8 games, they've only conceded 7 goals, which is a major upturn in terms of the way they've tightened up at the back. But they've conceded twice here tonight. And Manchester United have been firmly in control of the match. 62% possession in the first half of the game. That will only have increased in this second half. 65 now. And they've had 14 shots on goal to Fulham's 6. And here is Caballero trying to respond. Bailly puts his body in front of Caballero, pinches the ball, and Pogba threatens to escape. He goes to ground under pressure from Joe Bryant. Referee is not having any of it, and it goes eventually out on this near side and away for a throw. This is Talk Sport, and we are live at Craven Cottage, where it's Fulham 1, Manchester United 2. Troy Deeney is alongside us. Before they were relegated last time, Troy, they'd sort of become Premier League staples, hadn't they? Fulham, 2014, they were dropped to the Championship. They'd finished 12th or higher in each of the previous 5 seasons, 7th, 8th and 9th under Roy Hodgson, got to Europa League final. But I suppose that shows, and you've experienced this, how quickly things can turn on you in the Premier League if you don't get it right.
It changes every transfer window. If you get stagnated and don't really reinvest, everybody else does. And that's the draw of this league. Is not only it's one of the best leagues in Europe, but financially they can offer more. And so the gap now between a team in 10th and a team in 20th is maybe 10-15 million per player, and people can afford to pay that now. So you can't get comfortable, and it's changed for Fulham there with Kamara coming on.
Yep. Aboubakar Kamara, 25 years of age, came off the bench at the weekend against Chelsea. In fact, he's come off the bench in 5 of the last 7 games, replaces Caballero, and I think he'll spearhead the attack now, won't he? He is more of a striker, although he has played out on the wing.
But he's got more of a physical presence as well, and he's got that pace. And I just think Fulham need to just try and miss the press a little bit when they do get the ball back, because United have really dictated this second half with how they're playing at the moment and their tempo. But I just think they need to start missing the press now, invite Man United on, get the ball into the forwards, and let Lookman do what he needs to do in the areas where he can cause the most damage.
Fred with a cross which takes a deflection. It's mishandled by Areola and goes behind. It's a 5th corner of the game for Manchester United. It's currently Fulham 1, Manchester United 2. The latest odds are available on Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage. Right now, 59-1 a Fulham win. The draw 13-2. Manchester United 6-1 on. That's all thanks to Betfair. More ways to bet, more ways to win. 18+. BeGambleAware.org. Corner comes in, headed away by Anderson. Back to Fernandes, who's just back from the D. He tries to elevate the ball into the penalty area, but it's cleared out on the near side by Fulham. And Bruno Fernandes, who looks a little bit cream-crackered, lacking in a bit of vitamin D, walks out towards this near side and throws it in front of us. And then once he's given it to Wan-Bissaka, he almost wants to control him as if he is playing a game of FIFA and he's in charge of every player, telling him where to pass the ball and where to run. Here is Pogba picking it up after pressure from Lookman, all the way back from Bailly to goalkeeper David De Gea, and then it's cleared away by Bailly up to Wan-Bissaka. Manchester United lead by 2-1. Here is Pogba, who scored the goal that has put them in front. What a humdinger it was. Shaw forward to the left, collected now by Martial. Back into Shaw, first time cross. It's whipped in at pace, and it goes towards the back edge of the area before eventually being cleared by Joe Bryant. And Manchester United, with absolutely no one to occupy their defenders, can bring that down in whatever time they deem fit.
And that was in the Fulham half as well. It wasn't as if it went miles away. It's just Fulham have just sunk into this now where it's contain mode, and let's hope that United don't score too many. I don't want to say they've given up, because that wouldn't be fair, but they've certainly stopped with the adventure now of trying to go and take the game to United. And United will make changes. It'd be interesting if Fernandes did come off, because he was certainly unhappy with it the other day.
He was. Here's Martial. Fernandes is down the left. He got to the edge of the penalty area. He's helped it on to Shaw, down by the byline. The cross hits the defender. In fact, it was Alarena who was turning his back on the ball, and it ricochets out and away for another corner. Corner number 6 of the day for Manchester United. And Edson Cavani just cutting a bit of a frustrated figure. Just looks at Anthony Martial, and then back to another one of his teammates. Luke Shaw's going to take this corner. Manchester United have got basically everyone inside the Fulham half. It's aimed in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Anderson, collected by Shaw. Not entirely sure he meant to do that. He just sort of floated the ball back down the left touchline, and it's cleared away by an unchallenged Joe Bryan. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said yesterday that they had done the easy bit by getting into the mix. Now they need to show consistency, have laser focus, and get over the line and challenge for the title. Getting to the top is never really easy, is it? But staying there is much more difficult, especially in this particular season, Troy.
No, definitely. It's a yo-yo style season, but here we go.
Here's Kamara, onto Ruben Loftus-Cheek, into the area, right-footed shot, saved down low by David De Gea. And if you are going to stay at the top of the league, you're going to need saves like that, produced by the Spaniard, who just managed to position himself. Ruben Loftus-Cheek disappointed not to have scored, but David De Gea was there to Manchester United's rescue.
And that's finally they've got the ball, and they've worked it really well between the three of them. It's 3 versus 8, and they've somehow managed to get a shot off and a great save from the keeper. But looking here defensively, they've got 6 men marking Greenwood and Cavani, and they're trying to get back in the game. I think they've just got to be a little bit more adventurous. They show they can get at this Man United team, but just have a bit more belief. And if you're going to lose, go out on your shield, you know what I mean? Like, go out and really take it to them. I think there's definitely a way back in it if they're a bit more adventurous.
Do you think he did everything right there, Ruben Loftus-Cheek? He went across the goalkeeper, didn't he? I mean, could he have gone just a little bit further in towards the corner, or was he pressurised by Shaw?
Shaw's blocked down the angle as well, but he's done everything right. He's hit it firmly, took it quick, he's gone across the goalkeeper who saved it with his legs. So, you know, he's done everything right. But I just want Ruben to get involved a bit more. The game's passing him by a bit, and he's too good of a player for that.
Bryant down the left, tries to just dolly across into the centre and bend it round the full-back. Doesn't quite reach its intended target. It's cleared away by Mason Greenwood, helping out his defence. This is Tosin winning the ball from Fernandes and seeing it back to the goalkeeper. Fernandes immediately communicates with Martin Atkinson that someone dared to touch his shirt. He wasn't happy about that.
But it's getting into that little lull now for United, where it's become a little bit too easy, and they've backed off the pace a little bit. I want to see them maybe freshen it up a little bit, make a change or two, and just re-inject some energy and get the job done.
Well, Rashford and Van der Beek are still warming up down that far touchline. But no substitutions for either of the Manchester United forward lines as of yet. Here is Fernandes. Oh, he's given the ball away to Kamara. That was poor, sloppy. And Kamara now sprinting down the left, tries to play in Reed. Reed couldn't get it under control. Fernandes has got back and helped out his defence, so he realised he made the mistake, and then he tidied it up.
Yeah, just took a little bobble in front of him there, hit his shin pad, and ended up putting Fulham on the counter-attack. But again, put Fulham on the counter-attack, and it was Reed and Kamara versus 5.
You can understand why they don't score too many goals. I mean, prior to today, they hadn't scored here in their last 3 home league games, which is, you know, pretty poor. They last went 4 without a goal. They've scored tonight in August 1969. So it's not very often that you get a team that don't score 4 times in a row at home. And Fulham were on the cusp of doing that. The likelihood of them getting 2 is probably beyond them, as Fernandes tries an effort from the edge of the area after taking on Tosin. It took a little deflection, and it's carried behind by Areola, and it's another corner for Manchester United.
But the frustration for that, though, Sam, is they've got the energy in there, they've got the legs, so be a little bit more adventurous in the transition. Go send 2 of your midfielders in there. You've got one holding.
Is that born out of the fact that they were getting ripped apart at the beginning of the season, though? So there's a little bit more caution.
Yeah, possibly, but again, this is a free hit for Fulham. Their season is not going to be defined on if they beat Man United at home. But they're in a game in which I feel that there's still going to be an opportunity, unless United score very soon, where you can still get a point out of it. Be a bit more adventurous.
Fernandes from the corner into Martial, then back towards Fred, who delivers the ball into the box, which no one's quite close enough to attack. And as it scoots to the 6-yard box, it then hitches a lift off the surface and scoots behind the way for a goal kick to Fulham, away to our right-hand side. And here is the change, the second change for Fulham, and Anguissa is replaced, and Lamina comes on into the centre of midfield. So maybe just a little bit more energy in that central midfield position. A man who has won the title in Serie A and has got to a Champions League final as well.
And he's confident on the ball as well, isn't he? So hopefully he can have it in those tight areas and try and play it forward. I just wonder if it's going to be about, if he stays like this for another 5 minutes, whether they think of just dropping one of the three centre-halves out and putting Mitrovic on and going a bit more direct and make it a bit more championship style in regards to going long and see what they can get with the knockdowns.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek trying to escape the attentions of Fred. He couldn't do that. Fred ended up bringing him down, and the free kick has been given. Now maybe there is an opportunity for them to go direct, because this free kick is 15 yards outside the Manchester United penalty area, and it's wide on the Fulham right, and it might be perfect for a left footer like Brian to whip this one in, and then the likes of Tosin and Anderson, who are pretty tall, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek to attack it.
Yeah, and the first ball from Lamina, as soon as he's come on, is forward, 20 yard, real strong pass into Loftus-Cheek, who's getting at them.
Whipped in by Reed instead, and it's in a difficult area, and no one is there to touch it home. It was in that corridor of uncertainty.
It's a great ball.
It bounced in front of the 6-yard box. Bailly was dithering, so was David De Gea, and no Fulham attacker went anywhere near it.
And we're just watching a replay of it, and there's 1, 2, 3. The 6 players stood on the edge of the 18-yard box watching it. Go and attack the ball. This is what I'm saying about having a bit of adventure. These are the opportunities that you want, and it's kind of like they've surrendered to the fact that, we've lost 2-1 to Man United. That's all right, because we haven't been spanked. But go and have a bit more adventure. There's something there for Fulham if they really wanted it.
Wan-Bissaka wins it on the halfway line for the team that lead the game by 2-1. Manchester United going top of the table again. Cavani, he's got space out wide for Wan-Bissaka. Greenwood tries to motor down towards the edge of the area. Wan-Bissaka takes it on. Greenwood still languishing inside the area. Cavani wants it back down the byline, and then a slide tackle comes in from Lamina. Always a little bit rash sometimes, Lamina, isn't he? He's occasionally a bit hot-headed, and he's left Cavani in a crumpled heap.
I think it's just the way that Cavani's landed there, but I do like that from Cavani. He's really just slowed it down and then turn a pace, got him behind, and if Lamina wasn't really focused, he could have been in on goal there and causing some real problems. But another corner for United. I feel like they've had a lot in this second half.
Shaw's going to take it, number 8. And are they going to make something from this one? It's a deep one towards the far post. Oh, Maguire's missed the header. It comes back towards Fred, who strikes it into a clutch of white shirts. It's repelled by Fulham. Comes back out to the far side and still trying to hold on to it. Fred looks to go on the outside. Tete chases, so does Aina. Fred goes down. He's still scurrying away, foraging, trying to win the ball, fighting for everything. Then draws a foul. Might just be a throw-in over on the far side, but certainly he was a big part of Manchester United keeping Fulham inside their own final third.
Is that Mitrovic coming on there?
Oh, yeah, it is. He's going to replace Ola Aina. So just as you suggested.
Some would say I know what I'm on about.
Hey? Maybe Hugh was right. You should be a manager. So Mitrovic on up top. Aina has gone off on the side of the pitch. It means that they've made their 3 changes now, but it also means that they've changed the formation for them in an attempt to try and rescue a point from this game. And Alexander Mitrovic, who's only scored 3 times this season, hasn't scored in his last 13 appearances since scoring twice against Leeds, is onto the pitch. Here's Lookman from Loftus-Cheek's pass in towards the far post. Arriving was Mitrovic, missed it, and then Ruben Loftus-Cheek from the edge of the 18-yard box hoists the ball over the top of the crossbar, and Scott Parker grabs a little chud of chewing gum and then throws his head back in disappointment. Loftus-Cheek leading the charge out to Lookman. The cross was decent, and I think Shaw did really well actually covering in front of Mitrovic, and when it came back to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he really should have hit the target.
That's again great play, but this is what I've been calling for. When you've got the power and pace that Lookman's got, he's run away from Fred there. Maybe should have took a yellow card, Fred, to be fair, but he's got after him. Oh, poor kick
by De Gea, straight to Reed, then Lookman, and they're inside the Manchester United half. Reed onto Mitrovic, sends it wide. and then looks to get on the end of Tete's ball. It's a little bit too high for him. Maguire away. And then cleared to Brian, who's trying to get it back into the area, gets it back again. Brian with a left-footed shot, takes a deflection. Manchester United got to be a little bit careful here, Troy, as it comes back in from Lamina over the top of the crossbar.
That is the most frustrating thing as a player, when somebody hits one that is absolutely impossible for him to score there. He's bouncing away, maybe 35 yards out, bouncing away from him, and he's tried a speculative effort. But you see the difference already with Mitrovic being on the pitch. They're higher up the pitch, balls are coming into the box, and you could already see the impact that they're having. That ball nearly broke for Brian, and Man United know now they're going to have to hang on for the next 6 minutes, and that's why the changes are coming in.
Well, Anthony Martial is being replaced, and Scott McTominay is coming on, and Marcus Rashford is coming on for Mason Greenwood. And what do you make of those? What those changes tell you about Manchester United?
I think you're going to see Pogba go out to the left, as we spoke about earlier on. I think they're understanding now we've got to see the game through. That's why McTominay is coming in, and I think, without being harsh to the two, Greenwood and Martial, I don't think they've offered much in this game. They've been really disappointed. So Rashford coming in there will see it through, but also add that bit of pace where they might be able to just hit them on the counter-attack. But as you can see, Pogba's been pushed out wide already, and get rid of his responsibilities in a defensive manner.
Okay, back by Bailly towards his goalkeeper, and Loftus-Cheek threatened to nip in.
They've got them on the ropes, haven't they, Sam? Fulham have really picked up
tempo a little bit, just caused a few problems for Manchester United, who look a little bit more uncertain,
a little bit more belief as well in their play. Look, getting it on the half turn and looking forward straight away, whereas beforehand it was a bit one-dimensional, a bit play around the back, a bit nice, and now you've got a target man in Mitrovic. You can afford to go forward early.
Could be in for a big 5 minutes on TalkSport. It's Fulham 1, Manchester United 2 on TalkSport with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Rated excellent on Trustpilot with over 80,000 reviews. The ball is out of play on the far side. Manchester United have a throw-in. 4 minutes to go. TalkSport, Troy Deeney and Sam Matterface at Craven Cottage in the swirling rain. Manchester United, who opened the game with conceding yet another goal away from home and had to fight back. Ademola Lookman starting the goal-scoring proceedings after 5 minutes before Manchester United hit back through Cavani and Pogba with an absolute belter. And just in the last few minutes, after a change which saw Mitrovic go up top, Fulham have added a little bit more of a goal threat. And are they going to fight their way back into this encounter and draw another match? Not if they give the ball away inside their own half, and Rashford is onto it in a flash. Wan-Bissaka, who won the ball, then charges down the right, gets into the penalty area, tries to get a cross away, hits Joe Bryant, then takes a little nick off Wan-Bissaka and goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right. You're listening to TalkSport. 08717 223344. The Sports Bar with Andy and Jason on tonight from 10 o'clock. I'm sure they'll be talking about this game. I say on tonight from 10 o'clock. It's already 10 o'clock. They're on about 10:15 tonight because this game kicked off at 8:15, an unconventional kick-off time, but we're getting more and more used to it. You like kicking off at 8:15?
I don't think I ever have, to be honest. No. It is an unconventional time, but you just see that ball there, which just helped into the corner. Mitrovic uses his body and Fulham get a throw-in.
Are you surprised they haven't started him in matches, Mitrovic? I know that he's had a few nicks.
No, I'm not surprised they haven't started him. I'm surprised it took them so long to bring him on, though, because he was crying out for a focal point, and I really want him to start hitting the diag here.
And they've done that with Anderson, trying to hoist it out towards the near side, but he just overhit it.
It's unlucky, but you see what he's doing. Mitrovic is already bringing Wan-Bissaka, took him right in, because the centre-halves don't want to be left 1v1 with him because of his physicality, so it's allowing the full-backs to have more space, and if they can hit that on the diag and get him in, you're going to see some crosses coming in that can make it really uncomfortable for Man United.
Fulham 1, Manchester United 2. You're listening to Talk Sport. McTominay sends it long up to Cavani, who heads it down, picked up by Fernandes and then sent out wide to the left, and Shaw gallops away towards the touchline. He retrieves it. Manchester United in possession, leading by 2-1 up to Fred under pressure from Tete, tries to hook it forward. Kamara takes it on and bounds away from Shaw. Ball goes out of play. It's a Fulham throw. Fulham want it to keep moving. They want the ball being popped around quickly. They want Manchester United to feel unsettled. They don't want them to coast through the final few minutes of the game. I think, as Troy has been saying, they allowed that to happen for far too long, and they haven't really given themselves enough time to get Mitrovic into the game properly, because they have been more of a threat since he's walked onto the pitch. Just his mere presence has elevated them. Kenny Tete chasing down the right. He allowed it to run across his body, and then it ran out of play, and more disappointment for Scott Parker.
But you can see Scott Parker there calling for him to hit the diags as well now, because he's understanding that the moment in the game, there's 2 minutes of normal time left and whatever's to be added. So just make it uncomfortable. Don't let Man United dictate play.
Fernandes pinches the ball from Ruben Loftus-Cheek and sparks a Manchester United counter. Wan-Bissaka, Rashford gets it stuck under his feet. Back to Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side. Lovely little skip past Harrison Reed. Rashford's gone down the right. He's taken the ball from Wan-Bissaka into the area. Low cross looking for Fernandes. Blocked by Lamina, who did his defensive duties really well. But Tom has got back and fought for the ball inside the midfield area, as you would expect from McTominay.
But that's why they brought him on as well. Made a foul really hard to pitch. What I thought Fred should have done earlier with the last chance that Fulham had breaking away. Just know-how and just stopping it at source. And Fulham have got to try and break them down from their own 30 yards out. And if you see, Mitrovic is pulling on the diag every single time.
4 minutes added at the end of the 90 on Talk Sport at Craven Cottage, where it's Fulham 1, Manchester United 2. And Manchester United about to go to the top of the table and about to go in front of Manchester City and Leicester City by 2 points. 13 games unbeaten. The longest run in Europe is about to be stretched. They will equal a club record, 17 league games unbeaten away from home, a record set when they really were the Kings. And they aren't going to be on top again. And despite his detractors, it's a perfect time to be on top at the halfway stage. And when you're top of the halfway stage, you are in the thick of the hunt for the top prize. And even though the performance hasn't been particularly great from Manchester United, it's another one where they've got the job done.
Yeah, especially that. And we spoke about that. If you want to be title contenders, which they are, and we have to give them credit and respect for, you have to win these ugly games midweek, and they can finish the game off here.
Cavani down the left. He's got Pogba in the centre and Rashford too. He's whacked that ball very heavily out towards the near side, and Rashford's had to chase towards the corner flag to get it. He's then pushed it into an area which is unoccupied by a red shirt, and it's easily picked up by Areola away to our right. It was a bit of a waste from Manchester United. Here is Reed down the right, finding Tete with a scuff ball into the centre. Kamara makes more of it than maybe he even deserved to. It goes back to Tete again, now on to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who skips away from Pogba, and then Fred, and then back infield again. They need to get the ball into a dangerous area, though. No point in him holding on to it out there. We're into the second of 4 added minutes at the end of the 90. And Manchester United are going to pick up a 5th straight win over Fulham, but more importantly, they are going to the top of the league, unless Lookman can do something here on the left-hand side. Proyas tries to get a shot in, and across comes Wan-Bissaka, throwing his body in between ball and man.
What a defensive block that is, by the way. Great ball, great touch. He's hit it straight away, but Wan-Bissaka's got back in there, and this is probably the last chance for Fulham.
And it's their first corner of the game, to be taken by Brian. No better time to get a decent delivery into the box. Brian towards the edge of the 6-yard box, towards Mitrovic, headed away by Bailly. Comes out as far as Reed. Reed back to the right now, and it's Tete who will recycle it, hoisting it forward. Mitrovic chests it down, but he's going away from goal rather than to it. So he sets it back up for Reed, and they'll look to change the angle of the attack again. Tete back into the centre. They're all inside the box now. Mitrovic with a header, took a deflection. It's only narrowly gone past the post and out for a corner kick. It was so close to an Eric Bailly own goal in the 93rd minute of the game.
Again, just get it in there and let the big man cause havoc, and that's what he's done. It's a great header back. I don't think he was going to score, but he's caused all sorts of problems.
Another corner. Brian in towards the penalty spot. Goalkeeper's come fishing and has got nowhere near it. And Areola, who'd come up from the back as well, also went in there and tried to cause disruption for David De Gea and the Manchester United defence. Back in by Reed, helped on by Tosin. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is chasing. Manchester United struggling here just to keep Fulham contained. The ball is sent out towards the right. It took a deflection from a red shirt, and there's one last chance possibly for Fulham to get an equaliser. Manchester United lead by 2-1. They're going top of the table at the halfway stage. Unless Fulham can get a goal in the final few seconds. United want to disrupt things by bringing on yet another substitute. Bruno Fernandes is taking his time before walking out towards the far side. He's going to be replaced by Nemanja Matic. Matic is saying to him, you come up to me, don't just go off the pitch at its closest point like you're supposed to. You waste as much time as possible, pal. He knows how to get the job done, Nemanja Matic. And he will bring his height to the equation here as Mitrovic certainly has caused a few problems inside that United 18-yard box with that header which hit Bailly and went behind, only narrowly behind in a way. Could have been an own goal. Here's the throw in then from the far side, tossed in towards the near post. It's headed away by Maguire, picked up again on the right side, charging into the box, a low ball which is cleared away by Manchester United and sent towards the halfway line, and Rashford is running clear. He's got Bryant in front of him and Cavani joining the attack. He holds on to it well. He needs some support. Matic is there. It's a bit behind him. He takes it to the edge of the area. He's got good feet, Matic, and plays it wide to Rashford. They take the ball towards the corner, then back into the penalty area. Kamara comes across. Rashford goes to ground, but it's because he slipped rather than anything else. And then the full-time whistle is blown, and Manchester United return to power. 17 Premier League away games unbeaten. It is now more than a year since they lost on the road in the top flight. They go 2 points clear at the top of the Premier League of Leicester City and Manchester City, and are the official leaders at the halfway stage of this thrilling, compelling, competitive season. They may not have a definite style or a clear, identifiable approach, but they have a habit of winning football matches, and that is a very good habit to have. It's finished at Craven Cottage. Fulham 1, Manchester United 2.